Hi everyone, I'm Pedro Luferson and today we're doing something a bit different. In this video we're going to talk about Clip Studio Paint, more precisely about the Clip Studio Paint contest. Every few months, Clip Studio Paint, the company that creates the software I use to draw, they create this illustration contest. They have like the theme of the contest, and it can be a really nice opportunity to show the art that the community can create. Not to mention the best, quote unquote best, like the best evaluated pieces the community creates, they get some really nice prizes, so that's a kind of a motivation to like shake the community. And I feel like these competitions are nearly as known as they should be because it's a very nice opportunity for new artists to get a nice prize or get a platform to spread their art. So I decided to do it myself. Like, I'm gonna spread the word of the Clip Studio Paint contest. This drawing right here that you're watching, I made for the 48th contest, and every contest has its own theme. Like the 47th was color palette, and the 48th right now is moon and stars. And I think it would be nice to create like this tradition of every illustration contest from Clip Studio Paint. I try to participate on it and create a video because the themes can be very interesting and the price is really nice if I get a high rating. So it has only advantages if I get it right, at least. So the theme was moon and stars, and I was like, what can I do with it? What possibly can I do with it? Because if you look at the previous winners, they have such a variety of art styles and interpretations. So like I can kind of go whatever I wanted, as long as it was authentic and creative and all of that. But like I was like a puzzled, like what am I going to do, because it's such a broad theme. It can be so many different things. So in the beginning I was very lost, but then my sister reminded me of an old profile picture that I had. I think I made it, I don't know, 6 years ago, maybe longer, probably 7 or 8 years ago, and I was going through a many existential crisis. So this is the picture right here. Like my mind was literally blowing with nebulas and stars, and was like to reflect my mental state that I wasn't in the best mental place, but it came out a very nice piece. So I was like, yeah, that could be a interesting starting point, that could be a very interesting inspiration, so let's see what we can do with that. So I had this general idea of a nebula, stars and moon creature or being in space to have like this cosmic vibe, but I wasn't quite sure how to start it. So luckily I had posted many years ago, when I made the original drawing, a time lapse of my process. So I was like, it was like a time capsule, me looking at my own drawing to see what I did, so I can now understand what I need to do to get to the result that I wanted. And I was like, damn, that guy was crazy, because he did all the colors, basically all the nebula colors in a single layer, and I was like, damn, I was wild back then. Today I'm a bit of a coward. I use so many layers, it's ridiculous. But anyways, it was nice to get inspiration for myself and get the techniques for myself from the past, and it was an interesting experiment. I already knew that I wanted to go for a very abstract vibe, just like the original drawing, and like not follow many, I don't know, not follow many rules aside from the general shape. Like it's a cloudy thing and there's a person there, almost like a cosmic being or creature, but like it was much more with the vibes. And the brushes that I chose was like a very paint like brush, not a lot of textures, but it's almost to give this flowy and cloud like effect basically. And I'm gonna be honest, for the longest time I wasn't feeling like this drawing was getting anywhere. I was like, basically the 4/3, like the first hours of the drawing, I was like, I wasn't feeling it. Like in the beginning it was like, it's gonna get better, it's gonna get better. But as I was adding the colors and the shades, I was not enjoying it. But everything changed when I put a lot of stars, because you see, since the beginning I put like a constellations and stars to like shape the borders of the face and the facial features of this being, and show like this is this arm, this is the neck, this is the nose. And they were very timid, but then I was like, no, I'm not feeling it, it's not going anywhere. So I was like, what if I just add a lot of stars and make them very big to create some contrast? And that was when started to now I'm feeling like we're getting somewhere. Because let's be honest, the composition itself is a bit confusing. There's not a lot of There's basically no background, and there is a lot of visual weight on the right side and not a lot on the left. But it's still, there is not a lot of visual hierarchy. But when I added the big stars, it created a very nice contrast, and suddenly the illustration was popping, was shining literally. And I added a lot more lights. I made the contrast very, very vivid. Like the face now, it's basically glowing towards the end. And I added a bit of darker spots to create even more contrast. The contrast was the thing that was missing, and I would say that the strong part of this drawing is in fact the abstract and the colors and the glow, because I don't, as I said, it's not a very complex composition. I was going for a feeling, but still I think at the end I wouldn't say it's my best drawing that I have done this year, even though I've been drawing a lot this year. But I feel like I wanted to participate in the contest and I was running out of time, and so I had to pressure myself to create something minimally satisfactory, and I achieved that. But still, I feel like if the theme was different or if I had a better idea, I would feel more satisfied with this drawing. I like it. I'm using it as a background sometimes on my desktop, so I have satisfaction, but the confusion to get there was a bit exhausting and a bit demotivating. But at the end I was pretty okay with the final result, and I asked myself, do I have the chance to win? And I was like, I don't know. Like, there are many different competitors. If you go on social media to see this specific contest that is going on, it's already closed. It closed yesterday at the time I'm recording this. But the winners, if you go to see on Clip Studio Paint's website, they can be so different. So I have a chance, I have a shot, because I was able to look up. My illustration is quite different. Like, people went for a more fantasy vibe, like with mages and witches and magic. So like, my vibe is a bit more cosmic, which is a bit different. No, obviously not a completely different thing, but it's a bit different. So yeah, I'm skeptical, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in a couple of weeks if I get anywhere in the contest. But yeah, I'm okay for this illustration and what it allowed me to make. And at the end, I would say that I'm glad with the final result. I'm glad that I'm participating on the contest. I'm glad that I'm making it. It looks very nice. It's very colorful. I would say that it's the most colorful thing that I have done in a while, because I'm using basically every single color, like every single hue possible. So yeah, I'm glad that I'm making it, that I made it. I'm glad that I'm making this video. I'm glad that I'm having, like, hopefully be able to create this tradition, like in every few months I will go back to the contest and maybe talk a bit about the theme and talk a bit about the techniques, because it's always a good, nice opportunity. So that's basically it for today. It's a rather short video that didn't take me hours to record and edit. It was pretty chill. So that's it for today. Leave a comment down below telling me what you think of my illustration, if you're competing on the same contest, like, subscribe, and see you guys around. There are plenty of videos in this channel to watch and many others to be made, so see you guys next time. Bye!